I just wanted to bring everybody in here today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what situation's been going on the past semester. I know we have PT 2 days a week in the morning, and I've seen a little bit affect academics overall, and I do think we need to talk about it to see if there's a situation, how we can resolve it, and what can make it better. And I brought you guys here just so we can talk about it and see what your ideas are before we make a decision. Does anybody have any comments about that?
I think it's just the cadets' faults. Not going to sleep on time, not preparing themselves enough.
Anybody else? Is there any situations that you've seen over the past semester?
I mean, they have a training schedule to go by that clearly lays out when they should do things. If they can't manage their time with the training schedule, I doubt PT's the problem.
I mean, they even signed up to a military college, so they should meet the expectation.
So you all think that it's a good thing to have PT in the morning? Is there any specific reason besides they signed up for a military school and they do think that? I think the same thing. I think it's a great thing. Having all that time in the morning for physical fitness, and it's only 2 times a week, and it shouldn't affect you that much. I know other schools aren't doing this, but
Well, we wouldn't be at military college if we did do PT.
yeah.
Exactly, and it's one of the 4 pillars that we have here at the school, which we pride ourselves on. So I think it's important to uphold that fitness pillar.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of reasons why we should not have PT in the morning.
Okay.
So one, that's that I've heard from students that they're always tired on the Mondays and Thursdays when we have PT, because it's so early. They have to go to sleep either early, or if they have homework, then they go to sleep real late, and then they'll get a couple hours of sleep, and then they wake up, and then they falling asleep in class, which is an issue. They're not getting their homework assignments done. Their grades are slipping, and honestly, the ultimate reason you're at this college to get a degree, not to go to PT. And also, you said the 2 days a week thing. That's only for people that are green in the physical fitness. What about the remedial? They're there every single day, and I don't think that's fair either, because they're getting way less sleep than every other student does, and it's unfair academically.
Okay. I do like those reasonings. I'm glad we brought you in here, since you're here because we brought you in because of the teachers. You're on their behalf, and I know we have mostly military backgrounds in this room, and you obviously don't, so it's just hard. We being back in the old Corps, when we used to do this, there wasn't PT originally, but now we decided we wanted to change so we can get our physical fitness better. But if it's affecting grades, like you said, it's more important to have grades at the school, because it's a school first off, then it's obviously military, and then so on and so forth. But is there anybody have any ideas about that, what we can do to change this up?
Well, I think we should still have PT, but if kids are falling asleep, then maybe we should move it to an afternoon, setting, and see how that works.
Okay. I do like that idea. The only thing I think about that is it's difficult with the class schedules. So we have the labs that sometimes go till 5 in the evening, and then dinner's right at 5. So we just have to. I guess we would have to figure out a time that would probably work. Does anybody have any suggestions on the time that we can possibly make it work out at?
Who's in charge of the Army Department?
That is White right here.
When do you guys do Army PT during the week? That's in the afternoons, right?
Yeah.
So why can't we just do Core PT in the afternoons instead of Army PT?
So just like how we have the labs?
Yeah, exactly like the lab. But instead of in the morning, 2 days a week, we just do in the afternoons. And if Army doesn't like that, then they can kind of do their own thing in the morning, just not as much, but have a core thing in the afternoon.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. It's definitely something to think upon. See if we can get that changed. Right now it's still almost the end of the semester, so we can definitely work our way into changing something next semester, or even next year, depending on how quick we can get this turnover. Does anybody else have any ideas or agree on what Godek said?
You know, I really disagree with this because I think it's all the students' fault. I think they're just procrastinating with their work and not getting their work done on time, and I think we need to keep it in the morning.
Okay, so who else does agree? Who agrees with Godek or who agrees with Thompson?
I agree with Thompson because I think time management is a big part of how students need to learn. So time management is very important.
Okay.
Understood, but you know, ESP starts at 7:50, right? And you know, I assume to get a good night's sleep for PT, where you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you have to go to sleep around 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think 2.5 hours is enough time for ESP for kids to get all their work done and tests and all this stuff, especially like engineers. Like I know they have a lot of homework. How do you expect them to get all their stuff done and then go to sleep on time? Because they have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
You said time management, right? But ESP is not long enough for that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I do believe that, I mean, you have all that time during the day when you have the free time after classes or in between classes. So there is time in between. But I see where you're getting at with the change of the timing of the schedule. It'll give kids more time to get rest after 11 or after ESP, and they'll have all that time to rest till classes in the morning. Because I know at other schools, they don't have, not all classes are starting at 8. I know here we have classes starting right at 8, which is different, so everybody's waking up at 7:30 for formation. I do believe that's a great idea that we might need to look into it to see if, to bring the grades up to where, how right now we've dropped down a little bit considering the situation of PT in the morning.
And you mentioned there's time in between classes. At the Citadel, the students are expected to take more hours than most schools. So I know a lot of students are taking 19, 20, 21 hours every single semester. I don't really think they have that much time during the day between classes because all their mornings are full of class and they have lunch, which obviously they've earned and they should have. And then they have afternoon classes. I mean, when do you expect them to like rest and take some time for themselves? Because if you have, you know, this whole schedule set out, but these kids are taking so many hours, that's just not enough time to get all their schoolwork done, and then having to go to sleep so early, and then the early PT.
Okay. Does anybody have any suggestions what we could do if we left PT in the morning? What are the other things we can do to move it around so kids have more time to get work done, or if we put it in the afternoon, how we can schedule everything?
Maybe move ESP to the morning and replace morning PT. Because I mean, we got to get up anyways. I believe 7 o'clock or 7:30. So move ESP starting then.
What if we did PT an hour later in the mornings, and then just started class an hour later?
That would be another.
Maybe that would work out.
Yeah, that would be another reasonable thing. I think
We would have to change the class times, but I don't think that's a really big deal considering the reason the students are here is to get a degree.
I mean, yeah, we did just recently change the class the class timings this semester, so I don't see why changing it again. I mean, obviously, we're just working on it, trying to get the best schedule possible. So I do think there's definitely an opportunity to maybe push it back, starting maybe at, let's say, 6:37.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because that's usually when students get up anyway for classes. So I think that might be a great thing to do. Does everybody think that would be a good idea? Does everybody agree? Does anybody have any comments about that? So all in favor of moving PT back to 6:30? Say aye. Aye. All of people not in favor of moving PT back to 6:30? Say aye. And now why is that?
I think it's still the students' fault on procrastination. I think the military life is great for them, and they would teach them to get things done on time.
Okay. I mean, I wanna see how we can get you on our side, because I mean, as you can see, we got 6 of us now going with what Godek said, his decision. What do you think we can do to try to get you to believe in moving it back now?
I think I might have to have another meeting so I can think about this.
Really? Okay, I mean, what we can do is right now we can break, we can all think it over, and we can have another meeting in a little bit, maybe next Tuesday, I would say, if that would work for y'all. We can bring it back in, then we can have a little bit more discussion, and then we can finalize a decision. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody have a great day. It was a great meeting.
Thank you.